Have you ever felt that ground shift beneath your feet? You know, when someone who seemed totally in charge suddenly starts, well, faltering?
Absolutely. That feeling of instability,
Mm-hmm.
that real uncertainty when power dynamics change, it permeates the book we're exploring today.
It really does. It throws the whole balance between authority and, potential chaos into such sharp relief.
Exactly.
Now, before we really get into the thick of these shifting loyalties and power plays, just a quick mention. If you find these complex stories as fascinating as we do, you should definitely check out Mindful Moments.
Oh, right. Our YouTube channel.
Yeah, it uses AI to analyze books like this one. It can offer some really fresh perspectives, maybe spark some critical thinking about the themes we're discussing right here.
Good point. Okay, so let's dive into that instability.
Yeah.
Maybe start with Cersei Lannister. After Tywin's death, her attempts to grab power, they just feel increasingly frantic, almost paranoid, wouldn't you say?
Totally paranoid. You see her just not trusting anyone, not her own family like Kavan, not the big political players like Mace Tyrell, not even the new High Septon. It's like her whole foundation is just built on suspicion. And the people she does lean on, Qyburn, the Kettle Blacks, Harry Swift, kind of questionable characters,
That's the fascinating part, though. Her intense need for control seems to actually breed more insecurity. By bringing in these, let's say, less conventional figures, she's maybe creating the perfect storm for betrayal.
It's a real paradox, isn't it? The tighter she grips, the more it seems to slip away.
Precisely. And it's not just palace intrigue she's dealing with. That power vacuum Tywin left. It's emboldened others.
Oh, definitely. You've got Dorne wanting revenge, the faith militant suddenly rising up again. It shows how fast the whole landscape can change when that central figure is gone.
Power isn't static. It's always being contested.
Yeah, always shifting. Which brings us neatly to loyalty, doesn't it? And betrayal.
And Jaime Lannister is such a key figure here. His refusal to be Cersei's hand. That's a huge shift in their dynamic.
His whole journey is pretty remarkable. He seems to be genuinely grappling with his past actions, rethinking oaths he made. You can feel his disillusionment with Cersei growing.
It suggests that maybe, just maybe, personal integrity, that sense of right and wrong, can sometimes win out over even really strong family ties.
Which makes you wonder, right? What happens when your own ethics clash with what you swore to do?
It's a fundamental question. And Jaime's internal struggle really highlights that loyalty isn't just blind obedience. Life experience, moral reflection. It can make you reassess everything.
We see similar complexities, maybe in a different way, with Sansa Stark, living as a Lane Stone in the Vale.
Right, under Littlefinger's tutelage. Or manipulation, maybe.
Exactly. She's surrounded by lies, by manipulation, but you get the sense that she's becoming more aware, she's learning.
Her situation is incredibly dangerous, but she's showing this amazing adaptability. She's learning the rules of this treacherous game, sort of absorbing Littlefinger's strategies even while being his pawn.
It's a kind of resilience, isn't it? Even in those really dark circumstances, finding ways to learn, maybe even eventually turn the tables.
Yeah, potentially. Then you've got someone like Asha Greyjoy.
Oh, interesting contrast. Her ideas for the Iron Islands are so pragmatic.
Compared to Euron, definitely. She's talking about alliances, resources, not just, sailing off to conquer some mythical crown. It's strategic.
It's a totally different vision, prioritizing maybe long-term stability over that quick, flashy glory the Ironborn usually go for.
Her arguments really challenge their whole culture, suggesting maybe survival lies in changing and forging new paths. It shows you can have innovation even in really traditional societies.
And then there's Brienne of Tarth, just unwavering.
Her loyalty to her oaths, searching for Sansa through all that chaos and war-torn land, it's powerful.
Despite everything she faces, she just keeps going, driven by that promise.
Her journey really speaks to the strength of acting on your principles. In a world where that seems so rare, her dedication is, well, kind of a beacon, isn't it?
It really stands out. Another thing that really strikes me in this book is how often what characters think is happening is completely different from the reality.
Oh, absolutely. That gap between perception and reality. It creates so much tension. Think about the disagreements over dragons or those glass candles.
Right. Armin's skepticism versus Leo's belief.
It just shows how our own ideas, our own biases, can completely shape how we see the world, even when something extraordinary might be right in front of us.
Or like Prince Doran in Dorne. He seems so passive, so quiet.
But his niece, Nymeria, suspects there's more going on, right? That it could all be a carefully crafted act hiding some complex plans.
Appearances can be so misleading.
Doran kind of embodies that idea that patience can be its own form of power, that quietness might hide a real understanding of the long game. Influence isn't always loud.
And then, of course, there's Cersei again, believing she's so clever, so in control.
While her actions get increasingly erratic.
Yeah.
Self-destructive, even.
She seems completely blinded by her own perception of herself, often her own worst enemy.
It's a classic cautionary tale, isn't it? About unchecked ambition, about needing self-awareness when you have power. Her flaws just get magnified and end up undermining everything she wants.
Even Arya trying to become no one in Braavos.
That struggle highlights it too. Trying to shed her identity, but who she is fundamentally keeps bubbling up.
It explores that whole idea of identity, doesn't it? Can you really erase your past? Or does your core self always remain?
It seems more resilient than we might think. Our experiences, our traits, they stick with us.
But, despite all the darkness, the conflict, the betrayals, there are these moments of hope, real resilience.
There really are. Like the faith of the drowned God followers, those rituals about returning from drowning. It speaks to that deep human need for meaning, for some kind of connection beyond death.
And Maester Aemon, his commitment to knowledge, making that incredibly difficult journey to Old Town even as his health is failing, that's truly inspiring.
He really embodies that enduring pursuit of wisdom, doesn't he? The importance of knowledge, of passing it on, especially when times are so turbulent.
And we can't forget Samwell Tarly going with him.
Good point. Sam's courage, accompanying Aemon and Gilly, facing his own fears constantly for other people.
His growth is amazing. It shows that courage isn't about not being afraid, it's about acting anyway, especially when it's for loyalty or compassion.
Exactly. And even Arya, facing so much danger in Braavos, a totally foreign place, her determination to just survive, to learn, her spirit isn't broken.
It shows that incredible capacity people have to adapt, to endure, driven by that basic will to survive, and maybe, just maybe, find a way forward.
These are really just sketches, aren't they? Glimpses into this incredibly complex world.
Yeah, there's so much more we could unpack. Which again is why checking out Mindful Moments on our YouTube channel is a great idea for more insights. And, of course, exploring our other podcasts for discussions like this.
So looking back at what we've talked about, this book really lays bare a world where power is constantly shifting, loyalty is always being tested, and what seems real often isn't.
But even in all that turmoil, you still see that resilience, that flicker of hope.
It persists.
It really makes you wonder, though, in a world with so much uncertainty, so many shifting viewpoints, what can you actually rely on? How do you figure out what's true or who to trust?
That's a really vital question. Something for all of us to think about, I suppose.
Definitely. For more explorations into fascinating stories like this, please do subscribe to our podcasts. If you enjoyed this conversation, share it with others who appreciate this kind of intricate storytelling.
And if you want to experience the book for yourself, consider using the purchase link provided. It does help support us creating more content like this.
Absolutely. And most importantly, keep thinking critically about the stories you engage with and about the world around you.